Hey guys, it's Rena from Simply Actions. I just wanted to show you this beautiful edit that I did with Simply Artiste here. Just a quick walkthrough, so it's not an actual edit with me, but I will show you what I did. Just to give you kind of a quick idea as to what you can expect when you purchase Simply Artiste. Just so you know, there is a 30-minute tutorial that is included with Simply Artiste, so you will be able to see how I approach an edit from beginning to end, but just for the purposes of this video, I kind of wanted to keep it quick and easy for you guys. Also, I'll be previewing my free actions that we'll be releasing today. These are actions you can receive once you've signed up for our newsletter, and they are a great way for you to kind of just dip your toes in and see if Simply Actions is for you. So I'm super excited to kind of give you guys a little bit of an idea of what Simply Actions is all about. And I kind of like to give away free stuff, so this is kind of awesome. So I'm excited to be able to show you those as well. But first, let's start with Simply Artiste, this edit that I've done here with this little girl. The way I've laid out Simply Artiste is kind of in a bit of a, a certain order of things. So I kind of approach it as, you want to kind of work your way down. And so this is how I did this edit. You don't have to do it this way. This is just how I feel like it makes sense to me. So but you are the master of your own universe. You can do whatever you like, don't worry. All right, so the first thing I did was skin tones. And as you can see, kind of I just was able to make it pop. So let me turn off the layers that I did work on. Okay, so first off, I wanted to warm up her skin and a bit of her dress as well. So just kind of give her just a little bit extra warmth. I just zoomed in just a little bit, and I just want to show you kind of what warm skin did for her. It just kind of warmed up her skin as well as her dress just a smidge, just to kind of give her just an extra little bit of warmth. I also felt like the areas around her eyes were really kind of shadowed, so I used bright skin just to kind of brighten that up just a little bit. There's also a bit of a contrast in there, which is nice, because I do tend to use a lot of matte even in my ECR, so it's nice to be able to kind of bring that back and kind of clear up her eyes a bit. I also, and I'll zoom in a little bit more just so you can kind of really see, I also added softer skin just to kind of smooth out her cheeks and her chin and whatnot. And as you can see, I add just a little bit of blur, but not too much so that it takes away from her. I don't want her to look plastic or anything. So let me zoom out. Now with the dodge and burn layers, this is where you can kind of really spend a lot of time, which, I would suggest doing just because it can really give you kind of a really cool, different kind of look. So I do have each layer separate, because then that means that if you're burning something and you decide that it's a little much, and you can take it down and not have to affect what you've done with your dodge layers. So that's why I've separated that for you. Give you a little bit more control. So I tend to do the burning first. That kind of just adds a bit more depth to the shadows and to her eyes. And then I just add the dodge just to brighten up. So let's look at a before and after of just the skin tones. So this is what we started off with. And this is what I was able to do with just the skin tones action. And then next, I decided that I really liked all of the yellows that were in the background. So I kind of wanted to give you a bit of, kind of highlight that. As well, I was planning on, I knew that I was planning on having kind of a glow here in the middle, kind of give a more, because it was an overcast day, I kind of wanted to make it look like it was kind of sunny. So I thought that would be cool. So first I did the golden glow. That was just to kind of create a bit of a golden space. I did add it into wherever the yellows were already with the leaves that were already changing for fall. And then I added the soft orange haze to kind of just add a kind of magical glow to the leaves even on the ground, as well as the glow kind of into the area here. So that was what I did with yellows. So as you can see, I went skin tones to yellows. After that, I went right down to light leaks. I didn't want to do anything else with these colors, but that you can definitely do. You don't have to always do it. It's just, you know, there for your fun. So the next thing I did was the light leaks. First one I did, let me just take these off so that you can kind of see what I was doing. Okay, so the first one I did was the cold light leaks. This is very subtle. I'll kind of show you at full opacity what I did. Now with these, all of these, I tend to brush it on with a 20% brush that's white with a 20% opacity, just to kind of give myself a chance to be able to kind of paint it on without overwhelming it. Now, even with a 20% brush, I was still able to kind of make it look kind of really blue. So I really kind of wanted to bring that back down. So I brought that down to like about, I think it was like 30, 45, 37, that sort of thing. Just to kind of give it a little bit more of a cooler kind of, you know, this is the cement as opposed to kind of the muddy brown that I had before. Then I added in the purple light leaks, which I find tends to mute the neon greens that I see here and kind of give it a little bit more of a deeper, richer foresty green. And which is kind of funny that you're doing that with a purple, but it kind of does that for me. I really dig it. I also kind of wanted to bring a little purple into the fence there, just because I like purple. And then finally, I went and did an all over 20% brush as usual, sunlight leaks, and then painted off of her because I didn't want her to be too hazy. Just to kind of warm up the image a lot, because I did want to make this look like it was a sunny day, somewhat of a sunny day. So that's how I got through the light leaks. Now, after that, I went to my matte haze blur. And let me turn these off so I can show you kind of what I did. So I always like to work with dark matte first, because now here's my philosophy, because a lot of people are like, how do I make something like my subject pop? And a lot of times they're thinking, oh, maybe I need to add contrast, or maybe I need to brighten her up or something like that. What actually creates a depth and kind of a pop, other than just bokeh, because that's also something that people do, is create bokeh as well, is actually to darken the background and leave her bright. That really kind of makes her pop. So to start off, I went with my dark matte to kind of give a bit of a all around kind of darker look to the background. Then I went in with my medium matte and I kind of painted it on specifically in different areas, kind of sticking with, you know, areas around her as well as my bottom edges, just to kind of create a bit of a vignette. But again, not wanting to affect this area because I know that I want to eventually add a sunspot there. So I just want to bring the darkness kind of into the corners of the bottom here. And then after that, I do an all over with a 20% brush, light matte. I even cover her with it because I feel like it kind of adds an extra little bit of polish, and it's soft enough that it's not going to, you know, take away from her at all. And I really, but that's my personal preference. A lot of people like to paint mattes off of skin tones and eyes. I like what it does to skins. I like what it does to skin. Okay, so next, and I put in a soft haze. And it was just a kind of, you know, preemptive, you know, I know that I'm going to be putting a sunspot here, so I wanted to kind of add a little bit of a haze there as well. And then I went into my sunspots, and I chose the large middle sunspot. So you have a lot of different areas. You can go to small right middle, small middle, like large middle, right, large left. So I've got a lot of options for you, so you don't really need to sit there and try to move them around and that sort of thing. And I try to give you kind of what I feel is a really good color for a sunspot. So here's what I did with this. And so I kept it pretty, you know, I didn't take down the opacity too much. I took it down to about 50%. I painted it on gradually, so that kind of helped. And then I just, you know, that's what I did for the sunspot, and I just really feel like it kind of really brightens up the day. And then finally, I went through my vignettes. Let me turn these off so I can show you what I did. So yeah, I'm a bit of a matte fiend. I love matte. It's kind of, I might have a problem. I might need to see someone about this, but I do love matte. So at first I started off with matte edges, and actually with the matte edges, I don't really stick to just the edges. I like to kind of fill in the sides. So I kind of painted it on just with the 20% brush just to kind of give it a little bit extra matte there. And then finally I went with the bottom corners and the edges with the blackened edges just to kind of create a bit of a vignette look. So then here we go. This is what the finished product is. This is what we started with. And this is how we finished. As you can see, it's a beautiful edit. It really kind of just makes the image pop. It looks very artistic, very painterly. With Simply Artiste, it can really bring your image to a very magical place. So I'm really excited to see what you guys can create. So please upload your favorite edits to the Silky Presets and Simply Actions Facebook page, because we're looking to feature you and show what you guys can do. I'm so excited to see what you guys can do with Simply Artiste. It's an amazing set. Okay, so let's show you what the freebie actions are. So this is an image by Live to Love Photography. She's one of our testers, and I'm absolutely obsessed with her work. The first freebie action is Free Love, and it kind of reminds me of Simply Love, the Simply Love set. It's very beautiful, very matte, very cool, adds a lot of cool to the shadows, kind of mutes the green, so you're not getting such a neon green, which is kind of something I don't like. I'm not a fan of neon green, basically, so you'll find a lot of my actions mute greens. So that's Free Love. Now Free Warmth, I just think everybody could use a warmth action, so I thought I'd give you one. This one kind of adds a little bit of brightness and definitely some warmth. It's a really great action just to kind of use as a base even, and it's a bit of a clean action actually. I'm not using very much matte in here, so you're able to kind of see what our cleaner actions kind of play like. And this one I'm super excited about. This is a free black and white image, this is a free black and white action, and it kind of will get you to see just kind of how I do my black and whites. All of my black and whites are played like this because for me, I found that not always did the effect of the black and white work on all of my images. Sometimes my images were too dark, sometimes my images were too bright, and I just wanted to like kind of adjust the effect, not the black and white of it. So it, you know, with the actions that I would get, these would be combined. So if I tried to, like here, if I select all of them, and if I tried to lower the opacity, I start getting kind of a, I don't know, like a desaturated, ugly image. So I can't really do much with that. So what I did was I made sure that I separated the black and white layer from the actual effects. So this is what the black and white looks like without the effects. And then this is the effects. So that means that you can actually lower or make it more stronger, whatever you prefer. And here's a secret that a lot of people tend to enjoy. Kind of gives you a little bit of a secret fourth action if you want to look at it this way. If you remove the black and white layer, you've got quite the new, it's a bit darker, but quite the pretty cool, you know, matte, vibrant action. So I mean, you can do whatever you want with the black and whites. I feel like this kind of, the way that this is laid out, it kind of gives you a little bit more freedom. So that's what I like to give everybody, freedom. Okay, so those are our freebies. I hope you love them. I hope you have fun playing with them, and I hope that they give you a good idea of what Simply Actions is about and how much it can really simplify and speed up your workflow. Just keep in mind that all you need to do in order to get these actions is sign up for the newsletter. If you've already signed up for the newsletter, then just keep an eye out in your inbox and you'll be getting them shortly. All right, thanks guys. I hope you have a great Friday tomorrow, and I hope you have a wonderful weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye.